What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fresh Hope for Better podcast. As always, I'm Oliver Goulet, joined today with my co-host,
Brisbane, almost Goulet.
and we are grateful for you guys tuning in, and we can't wait to dive into what we got. But first, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, if you haven't left us a rating review, please do that. It takes 30 seconds. It helps us grow the show. It helps us impact more people's lives, and it ultimately will help you because guess what? You're helping others, and due to the law of reciprocity, it'll come back in return. Got anything to add, Brisbane?
No, I just appreciate all of you guys following and supporting us. I was just talking actually with a few friends and clients, and they said, like, why do you do this podcast? First and foremost, to help you. Second of all, I was just telling Oliver, it's so cool to sit down with him for an hour a week and just talk about things that we might not talk about. And second or third, we have a virtual diary for our future kids one day. And that's sick. Like when you think about that, like our kids get to watch us in our 20s solve problems and communicate with one another. And I just think that was really cool, like just a cool perspective to take on this podcasting world, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And just have that virtual diary. It also gives us an opportunity to look back and see what we were thinking, where our headspace was at, our perspective on life, and what we were currently going through. And it's very valuable to not only us, but hopefully it is to you. And that's the goal of today's show, is to be able to provide you guys with value. And I asked Brisbane what she wanted to talk about this week, and I had something come up because, we got both sides. We got men with me, women with her. And I asked her to think of 5 things that ultimately destroy women. And I was to come up with 5 things that destroy men. So, Brisbane, you want to start us off?
Ooh, for sure. So the first thing that came to mind was that women, we need to stop with the excuses and victimhood. It is such a turnoff, not only as a female friend to you, but like I'm sure to men as well. The girl that just consistently will just go, woe is me, I'm painted into a corner, feel bad for me, all of that attention seeking behavior, that negative attention seeking behavior. I'm so over it. I'm over it, but I'm also like, you're not doing anything about it either. Like you can only get so much empathy before people are tired of your crap, you know? So I think victimhood and these excuses that these women are making, it's not attractive. It's not an attractive look for men. It's not fun for a female as like your friend. Like there's a time and a place for empathy, but when you're consistently like that and that is your personality, hard no.
Yeah, that is very true. And I can think of many women that I've met in my past or even in today that love to play the victim card. There's a lot of men that like to do that also.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that is a big factor that basically destroys women and what their actual potential is and what they're actually put on this earth to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What was your top one?
Number 1, it actually is a combination of many things, but ultimately it boils down to lack of purpose and not knowing what your purpose is. If you go through life like the person that really just lets life take them wherever life wants to take them, like that is not ultimately how you're going to live whatever life that you truly wanted. In the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, he talks about drifting, and basically, I always think of it whenever I read that book. I think of the song, Katy Perry, drifting like a plastic bag through the wind.
Yeah.
Like that's how most people live their lives, and they never really sit and figure out who they are and what their purpose is for their life. My purpose is building. I'm put on this earth to build. I'm here to build people. I'm here to build businesses. I'm here to build my family. I'm a builder, and that's what God's put on my heart, and I utilize my God-given gifts and abilities in order to make that happen. That aligns to my purpose. Ultimately, my purpose is becoming the best version of myself, and I do that by building people, building relationships, and building business. And as I continue down this path, it drives me. My purpose is what wakes me up in the morning, and my purpose is what pushes me through those hard times. My purpose pushes me out of my comfort zone because I know that there's greater things that lie on the other side of that. And I see it everywhere you go. You see people like this. They don't have a sense of purpose. They don't know what they're doing with their life because either external events has pushed them into victimhood,
Yeah.
or or they just simply haven't taken the time to really figure out, like, what do you want to accomplish during your time here on earth? What are you good at? What can you use those skills to develop and create? And I truly believe every person's purpose is different in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But thinking back onto how I figured out my purpose it was, how can I become a greater version of myself? What do I need to, what areas of my life do I need to improve on? For myself, when it was first starting off, it was my physical health. And once I started diving deeper into that, that led me to finding my purpose. So for you audience listening, if you guys are struggling with purpose, or you know someone struggling with purpose, I recommend, always going to seeking God first as a Christian. Like, that is what we're called to do. And if you're a Christian, do that. But if not, work on your physical health.
Yeah.
Because once you start working on your physical health, you realize what you're capable of. You start, building some momentum in life, and then you start seeing things differently. When I was 280 pounds and overweight and addicted to drugs, I looked at life through one little small little lens. And as soon as I started working out, my lens started to grow. I started to look at things a little differently. I started to act a little differently. I started to operate, move, and allow myself to think bigger than what my current reality was to what I wanted out of my future. And that was a huge component. And if I got caught up in the day to day, allowing the external things to tell me what I should do, what I shouldn't do with my life, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And I would definitely not have a sense of purpose. If I went through what everyone told me through high school, or through my early adolescence, through middle school, high school, and then proceeded the route in where I was told to go in college, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I would not be as fulfilled and as happy as I am with who I am and what I've accomplished already and what I'm going to accomplish in my future. So a lot of it has to do with the external events. It's actually funny because a guy at the gym was talking to me today, and we were talking about how I've just transitioned from running, or from lifting to running, because I've been dealing with the shoulder injury. Just got some peptides in, going to get that all solved and figure out. But I'm making the most of what I can do, and I've been running and stuff like that. And he's like, I can run a lot longer when I'm running slow. And I was like, yeah, for sure. Like, if that's how you do it, but the more you do it, the better you get. And then I told him I did an ultra marathon. He's like, no way. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have the right people in my life. And he's like, really, the people make that big of a difference? I said, the people you surround yourself with make the absolute biggest difference in your life. And this goes for every area of your life. If you surround yourself by a bunch of victims, like Brisbane was mentioning earlier, like, that is going to be a problem. So going back, I know that was a little bit off tangent, but the purpose is like a critical aspect that destroys men's lives, because when you lack purpose in life, it's really hard to wake up in the morning wanting to do after. You have these doubts, these fears, these ill thoughts that aren't yours. They're not God's. They're the enemies that wants to keep you lower than where you're currently at. So the number one thing I truly believe that destroys men is your lack of purpose.
Yeah. Well, my second one goes right off of what you just went on a tangent on, of keeping poor friend choices around. So ladies, you will fall down the rabbit hole if you keep these really crap friends around, because you are who you hang with, right? So whether that are people with bad attitudes or people with no motivation, friends that are just takers, not givers, referring to our, was it last episode or the episode before that we talked about, like, takers and givers?
Yep, that was a couple
right.
episodes ago.
Those people can be really draining in your life. And so the people you keep is very important. And it's okay if you keep very little people. That's okay too. Or if you have a lot of great friends, that's awesome as well. But just take inventory. Who are you? Who are you keeping in your inner circle? And do they respect your boundaries? Do they push you? Are they supportive? And vice versa, right? Does everything kind of mesh and work together? I know, like, the men you keep in your circle are unmatched. They're some good people. And I am building my circle, and the friends I have now are so much different than even when I met Oliver. And Oliver's like sitting over there smiling because he saw the women I kept, and he was like, ooh, Brisbane, Brisbane. You gave way too much to that friendship. But yeah, so I think the people you keep is important. So ladies, get yourself some good friends or be alone for a while until you find that friend group.
Yeah, that's a pivotal thing in many men or women's lives is who they choose to surround themselves with. Like for the longest time, I grew up thinking that the core group of guys that I grew up with, that we went to elementary, middle school, high school, hung around, I thought those were going to be my friends for life. But one thing that a mentor of mine said to me was, people either come into your life for three different reasons. One, it's for a season. Two, it's for a specific reason, and three, it's for life. And I've just now recently met the people that are going to be a huge part of my life for the rest of it, and that was after going through multiple different categories of or seasons of friends to really figure out if we are still headed on the same path. It does not mean I don't still love those friends, my core group of friends from my childhood, significantly. Like I love those dudes to death and want nothing but the best for them, but we chose different paths.
Yeah.
Like I'm going this way, they're 20 to some are 20 degrees this way, some are 10 degrees this way, but the only ones that are really in my inner circle, we are 1 degree if not 0 degrees off, so we are headed the same place. Destination is the same, it may look a little different, but we're heading the same place on this journey.
Yeah. Well, even just like I was able to have some conversations with friends last night, and the stark difference between a couple of their answers was really like alarming to me. One friend answered that, they're working on some personal development and they're going to the gym and they want to read some more. And I'm like, heck yeah, like those are all awesome things. And I can absolutely keep talking to you about that and like relating with you and supporting you on that journey. The other friend is still having the same problem that they had 4 years ago. And it's very frustrating as a friend to watch that, right? The advice has already been given. I'm kind of talking in a circle at that point, and I keep prompting questions to see like what direction we're going. How can I be supportive? But it's tough. Like when somebody's not going, it doesn't have to be the same direction, but as long as there is a way, Google Maps is on. Like Google Maps has to be on for you to go somewhere. So yeah, I think the people you keep is super important. What is number 2 for you?
Number 2 was actually fear. Men, and especially in today's day and age, there's a lot of men in society right now that literally operate out of a place of fear 100% of the time. I mean, you see it in today's young men, like whether it's them just being glued to something like that or a screen or whatever, they operate out of a fear, which it isn't totally their fault, but it is society's fault for ingraining and indoctrinating them into this culture of living a fearful life. Like they don't want you to look past what they show you in life, because ultimately when they are projecting all these things on you, they can keep you in a state of fear, which keeps you in a not optimal place to actually control your life and actually take it by the reins. Because if more men stood up and did what they needed to do and what was on their hearts, and they didn't operate out of a place of fear, the world would be drastically different. It would be drastically different. And it is something that is very hard to overcome. But when you start to really face your fears and just give it a shot and not care about the what comes about it, like whether you fail, whether you succeed, like take those completely out of the equation and ask yourself this: what is it going to be worse? If I live my entire life and I don't even try, or if I try and fail? Simple question. That's how I look at just about every situation. It's like, if I don't do this, then what? Compared to if I do this, yeah, I could achieve this or I could achieve that. But it's like, if I don't do this, I'm going to have that regret of not even knowing what could have been. That's like the similar situation with Brisbane becoming my co-host on this podcast. There was a little bit of fear, like, this is my thing. I've been doing it for 2 years. Like, I got a great audience. I have people that, listen to me. They come to me for my word. But it's like, why not give the opposite side and the opposite perspective just to show you guys what we're going through together as a couple, and how we're going to be able to move past any obstacles or any trials or tribulation that may come our way. and just realizing how much more valuable that can be to more people out there, because this is a smart cookie right here. I'll tell you that right now. She is very, very smart.
Oh, thanks.
And literally she has unlimited storage in her brain, unlike me. But to be able to hold that type of value back, I was a little bit fearful because, maybe you guys are going to like her more than me. But in all
No.
reality, that's my own insecurities being like, okay, but you know who you are, Oliver. Why are you afraid? And if you're struggling with, stepping out of your comfort zone, for you men out there, like, what area of your life can you build confidence in that's going to carry you everywhere else? Your physical health. I would not be the confident man in what I do in a lot of areas of my life if I wasn't built on the foundation of my fitness first. And then ultimately, it should have been faith first, but I did it the opposite way because I was still not aligned with my Lord and Savior. I was more believing in the universe, but that's a story for another time. But ultimately, if you can build the foundation off of something solid, that is how you're going to carry through life and actually be able to step into quote unquote fearful situations, knowing that no matter what happens, you're going to be all right. There's very few instances in life where it is truly life or death.
Yeah.
And once you've come to the acceptance that yes, you're going to die one day, what's the reason for being afraid of anything? Are you afraid of that rejection from the girl that you try to get with? Are you afraid of that business failing? Are you afraid of reaching out to someone that you want to befriend? What are you afraid of? And then face it, because the more times you do it, the better off you're going to be. And a perfect opportunity that a lot of people struggle with is talking to strangers.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things to help build confidence in just talking to anyone is simply when I used to go to grocery stores at 10 o'clock at night during phase 3 of Live Hard and having random conversations with people. It's not as hard as it seems. It is scary until you say, hey, how's your day going? And then start there, or just simply pick something that you like and compliment them and build off of that. And once you start doing that more and more and more, you start to get comfortable and you start building confidence. So it's just simply that for me. It's just being able to build enough confidence to realize that fear is something that you build in your head and it's not actually as scary as what you think it is.
Yeah, it's definitely your own creation of reality.
Yeah.
Because that quote it's not even a quote, but like everybody at the gym, if you're new to the gym, they're like, I promise nobody's looking at you. Everybody is too self-absorbed in their own thing to give a care about what you're doing. That's also life, not just the gym. Do whatever you want. Like, as long as my partner's on board with it, right? Like, I have made big changes in my business in 2 weeks' time, and Oliver goes, yep, go for it. Some of my friends don't even know I'm doing this. Like, it's news to them because we're moving, we're grooving, but I didn't have to ask their permission because the only person it really matters to is Oliver. And God, right? Well, yes, God is always there. But like in this right now, you are the person that matters in that opinion because this affects your life. 2, he's been very helpful, by the way, you guys. He's very handy. I appreciate him so much. But again, just do it. Do it because nobody really is watching you or judging you like you think they are in your creation of reality.
100%. That's spot on. And yeah, fear is something you create in your head. It's nothing's really that scary. I mean, you're not going out there having to fight or kill people. Like, there's truly nothing that's that scary. It's not as tough as you guys think. And I will tell you that firsthand. Like, you guys are no different than me. I just build confidence in one area and I allowed that to carry over into every other area. And that's me. I'm just a regular dude who tries really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fitness is that domino effect. It just it gets you into that space of like, if I could do that, I could probably do this, which I could probably do that, right? It's just that domino.
Yeah.
Speaking of physical fitness, my third one is women. If you're not doing any type of physical activity, I'm not saying like you have to be a gym girl. I'm saying some type of physical activity every day, yoga, walking, something. You are ruining your life because physical health or like physical movement is the thing that drives your hormone health. Yeah, most people who are sitting there with PCOS and all of these different crazy hormonal things going on. Do you work out? Do you drink water? Do you sleep well? Do you eat well? I bet you if you fixed those things, you might see a difference in your crazy autoimmune hormonal system. Just saying. Throwing it out there.
It really all stems from what you put in your body
Yeah.
and how you move your body.
Yeah.
And they're all things that are controllable by you.
Totally. And everybody wants to say, oh, I was born with it, it's hereditary. I'm like, some of these are really new diagnoses. I'm not like discounting. Yes, you can still have PCOS, but you can really decrease your symptoms and and you can manage it super well if you also manage your lifestyle. But physical health is important. Even just walking the dog or just walking on a what are those little pads? A walking pad at your desk. That simple switch would make a huge difference.
They're $90 on Amazon. Just a plug.
And Christmas is coming.
Yeah, exactly. Black Friday is coming, guys. My number 4 would be the uncontrolled influences that you have on your life, whether it was your upbringing from your parents, whether it is the media you consume via social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or it is the news, which is by far the absolute worst one to watch by any means. But these external influences can really destroy a man, because ultimately we live in a day and age where we're fighting for attention. We are literally fighting for attention. Everyone's attention spans are decreasing. People are struggling. That's simply because they're so caught up in our phones all the time. And if you don't audit the things that you're using the most, like social media, your phone, all these things, and you have all these negative influences that aren't telling you the real truth, and they are giving you a bunch of biased opinions, and you're not willing to do your own due diligence and do your own research and find actual, facts, statistics, studies to back up what you're reading, like, you aren't doing the second part. I hear a lot of things, but before I accept it as the truth, I will go and do my own research on it to see if that is actually the truth, or if that's just some fucking head talking on Instagram, or if that's some news outlet pushing something to some agenda that they want us to realize and accept as truth when it's completely opposite. Just a little subtle plug. Whatever you hear on the news, it's most likely the exact opposite. That's what's going on. Just simple. Just if you look at it from that, like, you will really open your eyes to what's really happening in the world. Well, ultimately, if you don't audit your social media and what you're consuming all the time, like, that is going to negatively affect you. Like, I do an audit on my social media probably every quarter now, because I've gotten it dialed to the point, because there was a time where I went through and it took me like hours to figure out who I'm following, what information I'm getting. And it still takes time, because some shit is, kept in the closet from some influencers and some people I follow. And then it comes out and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to look at that person for advice. I'm not going to take what they say as truth, because I don't even want to have to go and reference it for myself. I just want to be able to follow honest people and actually take information for what it actually is, instead of what they want you to perceive. And too many men are too lazy to actually do their own research and figure out what is actually the truth. So if you don't do that on social media, like, if you go through my social media, you look at my Instagram, it's either motivational, educational, or it's dogs and cats, like, and workout stuff and badass cars. That is it.
Yeah.
That is all I look at. And honestly, every once in a while, I go and reset my algorithm, because, I have some people send me some people that's wild, because social media has been opened up. You can see people getting shot, all this stuff. And I just don't need to see that stuff.
No.
But you can ultimately go to your Instagram, you can reset your algorithm, start liking things that you want to see more of, so you see less of the crap that's out there. And if you allow that to really control your life, that is going to be a detriment, and it's going to destroy men. And a lot of dudes, they live in the victim mentality. They say they put all the blame on how they were brought up, the life that they had and all these things. And they start putting these limiting beliefs that's like, oh, I can't do that. I had this in my past. It's like, bro, fuck your past. What do you got going on in your future? What do you want to truly work towards? And not accepting other people's beliefs as your own, unless you're actually willing to do the research. Because if you say you believe in something, but you don't actually have a reason or, a background of why you believe these things, you don't actually believe it. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have a good foundation to actually push your beliefs out there and express your own beliefs if you truly don't know what they mean and why you believe these things. And I know so many people that live their life that way because they heard something here, they heard something that, and they believe it because they heard it from that person. But it's like, do you truly believe those things? That's a
Yeah.
question you have to ask yourself: is do you truly believe those things?
Yeah, absolutely. And even just like with your social media, like I haven't watched the news since basically 2020. I am cut off from the world. But on purpose. Like I I am a person that really absorbs that information. I know you like to stay more current because it's just something that you're like, "Hey, I'll absorb this for you, and if there's anything pertinent, I'll let you know." And I'm like, "Thank you. That is so nice of you, Oliver." But it does, like, it really does impact you. And like, even on days where you might consume more social media than you'd like to, like we've talked about it, you have a huge difference in your personality, especially if it's content that's not super positive.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. That's
Like,
when I reset my algorithm.
yeah. And I will protect my Facebook algorithm at all costs because it is all educational, like National Geographic, like TED Talks. And I'm like, this is great social media. I love my social media. This is awesome. But to each his own. But yes, I agree. Content is important. External influences are important. Um, I have something similar with the ladies is the negative self-talk slash comparison. We are guilty big time. And I think that's one of the reasons like why I love my Facebook algorithm is because I'm not looking at women that look different than me. I'm learning. I'm like have this growth mindset. I'm learning new things and I am just Brisbane. A lot of women get caught up in the like, oh, look at what she posted on Instagram. I post and I ghost. Hi. Like, I love you all and I would love to like all of your things, but I have not the time nor the need to sit on Instagram and like compare my life to others.
Mm-hmm.
And so I post and I ghost, and that's what I do. And if I go on social media, it's probably Facebook so I can watch a TED Talk or two. But these girls are getting so caught up with like 20-year-olds getting Botox. Why? You're 20 because it's the new fad. Like I can't stand that stuff. I know that men are probably seeing that a lot in the women that they're dating. These women that are getting lip fillers or trying out these different trends that are just every girl. You go to a college campus right now. I was just on a college campus a few weeks ago. Every girl looks the same. It's crazy. I mean, I felt geriatric being there because I was wearing ankle socks. Apparently, ankle socks are not it, and crew socks are the vibe. But every girl's wearing the exact same outfit: white sneakers, crew socks, like floody jeans, like white sweat. Everything is just the same, and I'm like, how is that being unique? If you're just looking at one person and like going after it, I feel like that's just ruining you. Everybody's meant to be on this earth as an authentic person, an authentic you.
100%. It's funny that you say that all the girls look the same.
They do.
I mean, even when you were in college, you probably looked all the same because that's just what the norm is. You see, the trendy topics, you want to dress like them, they do that, all this other stuff. But ultimately, it's not just women that do that with the comparison game. Me, the saying is comparison is a thief of joy, which it can be. But if you shift your mindset to using comparison as like a propeller to propel you forward, like, hey, that dude's got that going on in his life and I want a life like that. It's like, he ain't no better than me. I'm gonna go get it. I just had to figure
Yeah.
out how I'm gonna go get there. That's a healthy way to use comparison. Like, if a dude's better than me, whether he's more physically fit, whether he's better in business, it's not, oh, that makes me feel lesser. It's like, if he can do it, I can do it. Why can't I?
But you have enough confidence to think that, right? Like, and I don't think in your mind it's a comparison game. You just go, I want to learn from him.
Yeah, 100%.
How can I like learn from him? Learn from him is the key phrase there. Like, you're not sitting there going like, I wish I had that.
Yeah, 100%. And I know there's a lot of guys that do that, whether it's, someone's physique, whether it's someone's lifestyle, whether it's someone's business, whether it's someone's smoke show of fiance like me. I know you guys are
Oh.
jealous, but sorry, she's taken. But ultimately, that's not going to get you anywhere unless you were to make a mental shift, like I just mentioned, and look at it like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
As everyone that watches this or listens to me talk, anything that I do, you guys can do too. There's nothing different. We bleed the same blood.
Yeah.
We are all humans. If one man can do it, another can. You know, everything's impossible until someone does it. Then it's possible for just about everyone. And once you realize that, it's like, man, what can I accomplish with my life? What can I do?
So I'm reading a book right now. It's called The Midnight Library. And the premise of the book is super interesting in the sense of it's really helped me shape my perspective. This girl is going through life very mundane. She kind of just feels like, what is my purpose here? Right. And she ends up deciding to take her life. She ends up in a place called the Midnight Library. And the Midnight Library is a whole library of books where if she were to make one different choice with her life, that is the life she'd be living. So she gets to go and choose these lives based on the books in the library, and she can like go in and out of these different lives by making different choices or looking at a book of regrets. And it's so fascinating. Like, if you were to think of your life that way, do you have a book of regrets? Do you have a choice that you wish you've made? Like, go make it. You get one chance. What are you waiting for? Like, nobody's going to come, like, say, like, hey, Oliver, do you want to do that? Really? Like, you're the only person that's can audit that.
Yeah. And a great thing for you guys to take a second and reflect on is you are the sum of the choices you've made up until this point of your life. If
Mm-hmm.
you are unhappy with what your life currently looks like, guess what? You can change.
Mhm.
It starts with one choice at a time. It's one good decision at a time, as Sal Frisella would say, the CEO of First Form. It's one good decision at a time.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life. How many good decisions can I make today? How many decisions does my mental willpower allow me to make? Which is why I automate so much of my life, whether it's my nutrition, my workout schedule, my routine. Like I try to automate those things because it's less willpower and decision making I have to make on a daily basis that I can apply to my business, that I can apply to
Yeah.
my amazing fiance, that I can apply to so many other areas. And like, some people, actually not really many people give me shit anymore, but they're like, they used to say, Oliver, how do you work out every day? Or how do you eat the same thing every day? Well, one, because it frees up my decision and willpower to make decisions in other areas that are more important that improve my life more. But two, it's discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline is doing the things that you don't necessarily want to do, knowing that it's going to help you in your future.
Yeah.
And it starts with one good decision at a time. And that actually goes right into the fifth one, which is the lack of discipline and consistency.
Mm.
I'm going to say that one again, the lack of discipline and the lack of consistency, because ultimately you'll never truly achieve anything great in life if you can't be consistent at it. Like all of the greatest people of all time, like Michael Jordan, like they were consistently working on their skill, on their craft. And that's why he is known as the greatest.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear no LeBron James bullshit argument. That's stupid. But at the end of the day, consistency is the name of the game. If you consistently show up day after day after day after day, even though every day might not feel like a win, if you consistently show up and give it your best effort, which is going to vary day to day, your 100% effort is going to look different maybe Monday compared to Friday, which ultimately I feel like I operate better on Fridays because I know everyone's taking a break. But ultimately, like some days you're only going to have 70% of what you had to give the day before. But if you give that day that 70%, there's literally nothing else you can do. And that's something I really used to struggle with was beating myself up because I thought I did better the day before, even though things may have arisen during my day to day, something might have happened where I wasn't able to give it all that I was able to give it the day before. But since switching that and realizing like, if I only have 80% to give today, I'm going to give it that 80% and that is it. And that's all I had to give for the day. And I can feel accomplished. I can feel successful. I can feel like I made progress because I did. And there's a lot of people out there that just struggle with that aspect of consistency and discipline, which I'm going to shamelessly or like no shame plug 75 hard. Like people are like, Oliver, you're extremely disciplined. You're extremely consistent. Like you show up
Yeah.
every time. And that is simply because 75 hard, if you do it right, it will instill those things in you. It'll instill discipline, it'll instill grit, mental toughness, fortitude, all of these things it will instill into you if you do it. But a key component is it is a perishable skill, which is why the program's meant to be repeated time after time after time when you need to resharpen those skills. Because I can tell you right now that just because I've completed 75 hard 7 times doesn't mean that that little fat boy in me doesn't want me to fucking go right back to where I came from. And I've accepted that. And I have structures, routines, I have a system in place. So I don't ever have to go back to the lifestyle. It would take a long time for me to do that, and I couldn't live with myself. But that piece is there. And you start to lose your edge periodically when you start slipping on the consistency and you let your discipline, slide. Because once you start compromising on things that you said no to before, what else are you going to compromise on? And then eventually you're just going to say, fuck it. And you're going to go right back to where you were. That is why discipline is going to destroy majority of men, because they lack it so much. And people say, oh, you're so disciplined. You have too much structure. Like that's not fun. But the amount of discipline I've been able to instill in myself has freed up my life. It has given me so much more freedom. And I love Jocko saying discipline equals freedom, because truly the more disciplined you are in as many areas as you possibly can be, it frees up the number one thing that we all have limited amounts of during our time here on earth, which is time.
Yeah.
And the more disciplined you are to your structures, to what you say you're going to be doing, no matter what you feel, no matter what the conditions are outside, if you stick to that and you stay disciplined, that is going to build your confidence. And that is truly how you're going to live a life worth living. And you're going to eventually, if you haven't already found your purpose, that is how you get on the path to actually finding your purpose.
Oh, yeah. I always think too, when you have that voice in your head of like, oh, I should do that, do it. Just do it right now. When you walk past the mail on the table, oh, I need to throw that away. Okay, go throw it away. It's just that small. Like it's not even like a full workout. Like be disciplined across the board. And we're not perfect, but if you listen to that little voice, because you know it's there, you pass a piece of trash on the sidewalk, I should pick that up. I have literally turned around. I was almost in the grocery store and I passed a piece of trash by my car and I turned around because I had that voice nagging at me. Oh, I should have picked that up. I turned around and went to go pick it up. Just listen to that voice, because that voice is guiding you, telling you what to do.
I mean, that voice is extremely powerful. If you're there's many people that are in a position where that voice is very weak because you've pushed it away for so long. But the more you start listening to that voice and acting on it, and actually doing what that little voice in your head tells you that you should do, the better off you're going to be. One of the things like I constantly cast over my team in Sugar Nest is, the discipline is one of our core values, is like, yeah, we have to do shit that we don't always want to do. It's not that fun, but that's part of the game. But also, when you do see a piece of trash or you see something that needs to be done, take the initiative and do it.
Yeah.
Like that voice in your head, like, hey, I should do that. Do it.
Yeah.
You see something that needs to get done, get it done. Guess what? That helps the team. That shows that also instills some fulfillment within yourself, knowing that you hold yourself to a higher standard, which not many people can say they do.
Yeah. And like we were just talking about this, I rent a room for massage, or I have for the last year and a half. I was brand new when I started there. Okay. I didn't have clientele. I didn't have anybody. And the owner was so graceful to, work with me and accommodate me being fresh out of school, blah, blah, blah. But being there, I did not take that for granted. I worked my little tushy off, but it's a salon environment. So it's not just me. There's so many things going on. There's laundry, there's trash, there's water to be filled, all the things. I always took initiative. Like if I had 15 minutes in between a client, go do something around the salon that makes it better. My clients are coming in here too. This is my space too. If that's your workspace, maybe the kitchen in the office is always dirty, or wherever you go all the time, if you are using that space, it is also your responsibility.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Well, guys, that is what we got for you guys today. I mean, we can go back through it. The number one thing that truly will destroy a man's life is simply not having purpose.
Yeah.
That is a critical component. If you don't have a purpose, that is something I would focus on, is figuring out what that purpose is. Some people's purposes are greater than, look a lot differently than others, but ultimately every single person has a purpose, and that purpose is the reason that you're here today.
Yeah.
And if until you find that, you are just drifting through life.
And don't be afraid too, like, as a person who has done a lot of school and a lot of different jobs, I'm here to say that I did all of those things not knowing why. I know why now. But I think I kept changing gears and going to school and trying different jobs and doing all these things because I was trying to figure that out. And I don't think anybody around me understood. My mom and dad didn't even understand. They're like, "Stop quitting a job. Like you were there for 3 months." And I was like, "Yeah, but it's not it." Like I couldn't explain that to them. They didn't understand it because they came from a life of you spend 40 years at one place. And I was like, "No, a job is the best way to learn if I like it or not. I'm getting paid to be there."
100%. And it's actually funny that you say that, because a lot of people look at like, oh, that person's undisciplined. They're the problem because they can't stay at a certain company. And yes, there is some people that are that way, that you look at it like when we got applicants for applying for Sugar Nest, like, oh, I was here for 3 months here, I was there for 4 months there, I was here for 5 months there. Like, but they were all in the same freaking industry doing the same exact fucking job. There's a difference when Brisbane's out there trying something 3 months, didn't like it. She went to a whole nother industry doing something else because she knew that's not where her calling and
Yeah.
her purpose was. But there's people out there that go job to job to job to job just because they quote unquote love the industry, like cannabis, for example. Most of the people just love cannabis industry because they can be high all day. Not okay. Either way. But a lot of people do that, and it's like, no, it's not the job that's the problem. It's you. Like, you are the problem. If you can't actually fit in with a team, become successful, stay there for a long period of time, like, and you're jumping job to job to job, but you're
Yeah.
doing the same job at a different company or in a different corporation, like, you are the problem there.
Yeah. No, I was successful in everything I did, but it was all different. Teaching, logistics, wedding planning, like apartment complex leasing, manager at an apartment complex. I figured out that was probably the longest job, but I figured out because I got a leadership role and I go, why did I like that job? Oh, because I like being a manager. I like leading. Oh, so doing it that way is a really safe way because you're getting paid to do it. You're not paying for college. I also did that too. Um, bachelor's and a master's. Yay me. And massage school. So here I go. But again, try it. Try it before you buy it. Like go get a job in it, or even volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
Volunteering. Or if you're like, hey, maybe I want to be a dentist, ask a dentist if you can go shadow them one day because you're thinking about it. Most people will be so honored that
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like, yeah.
Knowing what I know now, if I wasn't a business owner in the position that I'm in, and I had the mentors that I do now, I would have gone up to any successful person that had a life that I desired, and I'd been like, hey, I desire what you have, and I truly respect and admire what you got going on. Would you mind me watching over you, watching you, seeing what you do, how you operate, learning from you? Like, I don't need to get paid. I don't need any of this. I will help wherever is needed. I just want to see like how your life looks and what it took to get to where you're at and what type of person I need to become. Because in school, they ask you, what do you want to do when you grow up? Instead of what do you want to be or who do you want to be when you grow up? And that was something that my mentor Josh Koshnick said, and he makes that a key point, is like, who do you want to be when you grow up? Not what do you want to do? Like,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, we're all unique individuals. Everyone has their own skill set, their own, things that come along with who they are as a person. But it's like, okay, yes, you may want to do this career field, but once you actually get through school or do something like that, you realize, I don't want to do that. If Brisbane would have went into school, is like, who do I want to become? Instead of what do I want to be? She'd probably be in a way different position, which I'm grateful she didn't do that. But it will change the outcome when you
Yeah.
look at it from that lens.
I mean, that was always the question I think I was asking myself, not specifically like that question, but I think there was that weird, why am I not conforming? Like everybody else around me is just like sheep and they're like, dun, 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 I'm going to business school because my dad said I should go to business school and I'm going to go to business. I'm like, okay, that's no fun. Like I changed my major 6 times because I kept like, what's over here? No, don't like that. And like, it just, I don't know. Don't be afraid. Again, that comes back to your fear. Don't be afraid to try it. Try all these different things. And you have to explain it to nobody.
Yeah, you owe 0 people an explanation for how you live your life.
Yeah.
Except for God. Unless you're
Yeah.
a Christian, you owe God an
Yeah.
explanation, and He knows all. So you don't really got to do much explaining. He knows. But if you're following His purpose, He's always going to lead you.
Yeah.
But I think that's all we got for you guys today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, guys, if you didn't take a second to leave us a rating and review or share this episode with someone, that's the ultimate goal. We don't run ads. We don't do any of that stuff. So the only way that this show grows is by you sharing with someone. And if any of these key points hit for any of you men or women out there, we ask that you share the show, leave a rating review. Bless you. But ultimately, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys, and we look forward to seeing you guys on Monday. We always remember there's a fresh hope for better
You.